First, I'd like for everybody to recognize my guest, Mr. Eddie Conner. How are you, sir?
Hey, Bill. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Now, Eddie, you are a motivational speaker, a minister, a guy who has a heart for people around him. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a motivational speaker, as you alluded to, and I just really want to be an inspiration to people, and I do that through my books. I do that, of course, on the motivational speaking circuit, in workshops, on programs like this, and just really sharing and expressing just the many stumbling blocks that I have endured, transforming those stumbling blocks into stepping stones as a cancer survivor. And so that is, in many cases, the capstone of my message, to be able to tell people, hey, I had to look at cancer in the face and see the first three letters in cancer is can. I can survive. I can overcome. I can find the inner motivation within myself to beat the odds and overcome the obstacles.
You know, that's a powerful subject, and it's even more powerful and prevalent in what's going on today. There's a lot of people who are dealing with cancer, or you are either affected or affected by cancer. You may know somebody, or if people don't have it themselves. And I think that there's a lot of different approaches to it. One of the things that people have to do is how they have to relate to people who have cancer. But I think before we talk about that, we should talk about what was your response? How did you feel when you found out that you were diagnosed with cancer?
Well, my first inclination was to ask the question, why me, why now? And the fact of the matter is, how do we respond to life's interruptions? When we're on the highway of life, when it seems to be that we're coasting, when we're on, in many cases, cloud nine, and sometimes just life we think is a bed of roses. Oftentimes those roses have thorns. And so I had to automatically, after the doctor gave me a diagnosis, he says, don't ask why. And that's the first question I asked. Because I said, Doc, it's one thing for you to be my physician and give me a physical diagnosis, but you're not my psychologist. And so that's the first question I asked. Why me? Why now? At the age of 15, as a young black male, growing up in the Detroit metropolitan area, where identity is everything, and all of a sudden I was betwixt my identity and, in many cases, my crisis. And how do I overcome that? And so if I can sit here and just tell you, Bill, that I was on cloud nine every day, that I was totally inspired and motivated to overcome those odds every single day, I'm lying to you. But I had to find the place within myself to say, I'm not going to continue to wallow and waylay in the mess. I'm not going to see myself as a victim any longer. I'm going to take this opportunity to become a victor. I'm not going to be the individual who's just going to cry and just continue to have tears, but I'm going to turn those tears into trophies, and I'm going to be an individual who overcomes the obstacles.
I mean, because we get ready to start going, and I can feel it, but I want to stop right there, because I think it's important that there was a moment where you decided that you were going to make a change, that you decided that I'm going to get ahead of this. I'm going to do something positive for me. Tell us what that moment was like, because I think a lot of people may be on the end of that. They're right at the precipice of it. They're almost there, and they may not know that that's where they are. You know, it's a fork in the road, and they may decide to go the other way when really all you have to do is make that decision. But what is that feeling just before that?
Well, the feeling just before that is, in many cases, you're questioning yourself. Sometimes you're doubting yourself. But it gets to the point to where you say, am I just going to give up and die, or am I going to live through dying places? And every second in America, 1 to 2 people is diagnosed with cancer. So automatically, somebody in this country was just diagnosed. And so when we are facing the diagnosis, will we buy into the diagnosis or see and really manifest God's prognosis to where I'm not just going to be a victim, I'm going to have faith that's cultivated, faith and fervor and fire that's even cultivated in the fire on the inside of me. To defeat something that I can't see, that's killing me from the inside out. To defeat something that when people tell me, the haters and the naysayers tell me what I can't do, I can turn those haters into elevators and move my life to the next level. And so it gets to the place, it gets to the point to where you say, am I going to crumble and die right here? Or do I understand that my purpose is going to be manifested. I'm going to manifest my destiny. I'm going to turn this situation to a place of elevation. I'm going to move from where I am to the place where I have to be. And that same type of power causes us to manifest our destiny, causes us to have the motivation to live again, and to cause other people to live, cause our communities to live, cause our cities to begin to breathe again, and have that same type of fire to move forward and change a generation.